Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about one of the most vital skills a human being can possess: resilience. Let's start with a hard truth. Life is not a series of constant successes. Life is a sequence of blows. These are moments when things don't go as planned, when we face loss, failure, or a crisis that feels like it's knocking the wind out of us. The question isn't how to avoid these blows, because you can't. The real question is, what is your internal armor? How quickly can you stand back up? Resilience isn't something you are simply born with or without. It is a capacity built from 7 specific sources. Let's break them down so you can build your own defense system. The first, and perhaps most foundational source, is your mission. Think about it this way. If your only goal is comfort or a simple daily routine, then the moment a crisis disrupts that routine, your entire world collapses. But if you have a why, a reason for being here that is bigger than your current comfort, you become much harder to break. As Viktor Frankl famously noted, those who survived the most horrific conditions were often those who had unfinished business. They had a child to raise, a book to write, or a people to serve. When you have a mission, a blow from life is just an obstacle on a very long road. It doesn't end the journey, it just complicates it. To be resilient, you must know what you are living for. The second source is spirituality and values. This doesn't necessarily mean a specific religion, though it can. It means having a connection to something larger than your own ego. It means believing that there is a logic or a higher order to the world. When you are grounded in deep values, like justice, love, or truth, these values act as an anchor. When a crisis hits, a person without values feels like a victim of a random, cruel universe. But a person with spiritual grounding looks at the situation and asks, how does this fit into my principles? It allows you to step back from the I and see the bigger picture. This perspective provides a safe harbor that keeps your spirit intact even when your external circumstances are falling apart. Source number 3 is flexibility. In nature, the most brittle things are the ones that break first. If a tree cannot bend in the wind, it snaps. The same is true for the human mind. Many of us break because we have a rigid idea of how life should be. We say, this shouldn't be happening to me, or it must go this way. Resilience requires the ability to accept reality exactly as it is. It is the practice of mindfulness, observing your pain and your fear without letting them become your entire identity. Flexibility means being able to say, okay, the plan has changed. The world is different today than it was yesterday. How do I adapt? If you can change your mind, you can survive the change in your environment. We often treat resilience as a purely mental or spiritual thing, but we cannot forget the biology. Your brain is the hardware that runs your mind. If that hardware is malfunctioning, your software, your willpower, will fail. This source is about the fundamentals: sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. When you are sleep-deprived, your brain's ability to regulate emotion is physically compromised. You become more prone to anxiety and despair simply because of chemistry. To withstand life's blows, you must keep your body in combat-ready condition. Taking care of your health isn't about vanity, it's about building the biological energy required to face a crisis. If your body is strong, your mind has a much higher ceiling for stress. The fifth source is the power of examples. When we are suffering, we often fall into the trap of thinking, no one has ever felt this way, or this is an impossible situation. This isolation weakens us. The antidote is to look at people, either in history or in your own life, who have faced blows much heavier than yours and survived. When you study the lives of those who overcame tragedy, you realize that the human spirit is incredibly durable. Their stories provide a blueprint. They prove that it is possible to move through the fire and come out the other side. By looking at these role models, you stop being a victim of a unique tragedy and start becoming part of a long tradition of human survival and triumph. Source 6 is your social circle, or the tribe. No matter how strong you think you are, no one is meant to carry the weight of a crisis alone. Humans are social creatures. When we have a support system, friends, family, or a community that understands us, our biological stress response actually decreases. Knowing that you have someone to call, or someone who will stand by you even if you fail, provides an emotional cushion. Isolation is a multiplier of pain. To be resilient, you must invest in your relationships during the good times, so that when the bad times come, you have a community to help you carry the load. You don't have to be a hero. You just need to be part of a team. Finally, the seventh source is action. The greatest enemy of resilience is paralysis. When life hits us, fear often freezes us in place. We get stuck in our heads, overthinking the problem until it feels insurmountable. Resilience is built when you choose to move anyway. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can be the smallest possible step. Taking action shifts your brain from victim mode to agent mode. It gives you back a sense of control. Every time you take a small step despite being afraid, you are proving to yourself that you are still the master of your fate. Action is the ultimate cure for the helplessness that follows a blow. These are the 7 sources: mission, values, flexibility, biology, examples, the tribe, and action. You don't need to be perfect in all of them today, but I want you to look at this list and ask yourself, which one of my towers is the weakest? Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you need to reconnect with your purpose. Or maybe you just need to reach out to a friend. Start building these sources now. Life will keep swinging, but with the right armor, you won't just survive the blows, you will grow stronger because of them.